Can you close the door, please? There's a draft there. It keeps on blowing into my face. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's good to see you again. Thank you for coming. Today, this is the first day that after we finish our Samachi here, so we're back to our normal schedule. So, what a good way to get started here by practicing the Pureland Dharma door. This is what this temple stands for. We opened this temple because we felt that it was the conditions were ripe to start officially proclaiming our American Mahayana Pureland Dharma door. Actually, we started a long time ago. We started, when I first started, I made it a point to position ourselves as to a new kid in the block. And I noticed that since most of the Dharma masters do not teach both Chan and Pureland, so I thought, well, we do that. So what did I do? I immediately thought, I understand a little bit of Chan, but Pureland, I wasn't sure. So I said, well, what do I do when one teaches Pureland? And for me, it's pretty simple. After thinking about it, I said, teaching Pureland is about inspiring your faith in the Pureland. When the Chan masters taught Chan, one of the primary purposes was for them to inspire the practitioners to really practice Chan because it's good for them. And so over the years, the Chan masters some of them were designated patriarchs who then, the patriarchs they certified themselves, very much like Shakyamuni Buddha certified the first patriarch as Great Master Mahakasyapa, and then who designated the second patriarch as Venerable Ananda and so forth. So in the Chan school, there's a lineage of patriarchs. And you know that you go and study the teachings, you can't go wrong. You can learn all the proper stuff. But in Pureland Buddhism, we don't have patriarchs until after they die. Like usually in a Pureland school, while they're alive, the monks, the teachers, were known as patriarchs. But it's only after they're dead, then the next generation somehow recognize them as a patriarch. Okay, not sure what the criteria are, so it's something to be worked on. My personal guess is that they recognize the contribution of these Dharma masters, the great contribution of these Dharma masters into the Dharma door itself. So I looked into the Pureland patriarchs and I realized that the patriarchs are the ones who actually brought significant contributions to the Pureland Dharma door. So that's why I felt that Master YongHua was from the past generation, the first generation of Pureland Dharma masters in the U.S. I look at that the Pureland teachers, and I realize that Master YongHua is by far the most competent and the most profound teacher His teaching is the most profound. And so I felt eventually, in time, maybe in a few more generations, when there will be more people who have true wisdom, more Dharma masters who have true wisdom, will then together recognize Master YongHua as the next Pureland patriarch, and as probably way after I'm done here. So you see, the problem with the Pureland school is that there is really no patriarch at all. When you're studying right now, how do you know which teacher is a good one? Okay, and case in point, many Pureland teachers actually, I don't feel they're competent enough to be patriarchs. Some of them are pretty good, like Master YongHua disciples. They know they're not competent enough, that therefore they don't even try to proclaim themselves as Pureland teachers. And that kudos to them. They're well taught by my late master. That they said you don't want to mislead people. And so you see, so I thought about that, and I said, the last known patriarch, Pureland patriarch, I believe, was Master YongHua. So I studied Master YongHua's Pureland teachings, and I found them over time. Over time, I realized of how profound his teaching really was, a lot more than people realize. In very simple sentences here and there in his vast teachings here in the U.S., he proclaimed the Pureland Dharma door. And so I said, this is wonderful. This is a great opportunity for us. But how am I going to teach a Pureland Dharma? Because in a Chan school, you have known teachers, and then you also have known results. Like when you meditate, you feel good about yourself. You experience a peace and a bliss very quickly. In a Pureland school, how are we going to teach people and help them recognize it's a good Dharma door? Okay. And most teachers, most practitioners don't know that they're practicing the proper Dharma until the day they die, and then realize that they need help. They realize that they're still fearful. When death comes, the time of death comes, they're so afraid. They're not sure they can go to the Pure Land. Whereas in a Chan school, when death comes, you enter samadhi, and you say, I'm going to have control over my destiny. I enter samadhi. In my samadhi, I can choose to go wherever I wish to go. But in Pure Land school, how do we know? And it turns out most of these devout practitioners of the Pure Land school, up until the moment they die, they still have a lot of uncertainty and are very fearful of death. And so that's why I said, if I wanted to teach Pure Land, one of the things I hope to achieve is that for you to have faith in the Pure Land Dharma door, and hopefully eventually resolve your fear of death, your fear that your practice, reciting the Buddha's name, you're practicing the Pure Land Dharma door this lifetime has not been in vain. And so that's what we try to accomplish when we teach Pureland, the Pureland Dharma door. And now, fast forward to this point where, and we have a chance to open this temple here, so we finally are able to officially unfurl our Pureland Dharma door flag and say, we are practicing Pureland here. And what did I do? What happened to me this morning? I came to the front entrance. I walked in. I saw a bunch of, it's a big mess up front, and there's a ladder that is like full of paint and looks out of place. So I scolded my disciples. I said, "What is the matter with you?" This is a place of worship. The Pureland Dharma door here, in order for you to practice it, what does it require? It requires faith, first of all. The first and foremost thing is to have faith in the Pureland Dharma door. And what do people do? First impression, walk in here is a mess at the entrance. And my own monk disciples, and nun disciples, and lay people disciples would look at a ladder that look crickety and full of paint and out of place, and they're not bothered by it. There's something wrong with the mindset. So I hope that you all will change and pitch in, remind each other that first impression matters. That we can't look that messy. What kind of temple is this? It's just. What bothers me is the mindset of the monks, especially, and the nuns, who can walk in there and sit there day after day and look at the mess, and they're not bothered at all by it. They seem to forget that practicing, teaching a Dharma, you need to inspire faith. You need to present in a good image. When I was practicing and teaching Chan, I couldn't care less about the impression, because Chan, we are detached from marks. Okay, so the people who are turned off by it would not come back. That's great for us. We are not interested in people who are too attached to marks. But Pureland School, all of you, please remember. Pitch in and tidy the place up, make it look neat and tidy so that people have a good impression. Okay, it's a different kind of practice. Okay, all right, questions and comments. How have you been? I know for us, for each temple, it's kind of difficult, and this is every time we organize a Chanchi or Fochi, it is disruptive for many of you. It's very important for you to have a chance to go to the temple on the weekend, for example, and to maintain your spiritual practice. But when we have a Chanchi, for example, we stop everything. We don't do anything except cultivate, as per the tradition brought to here in America by my late Chinese master. And the only small change we had was that I decided, instead of dropping everything and doing nothing at all, I decided to continue to perform services like 49 days service for you, because people cannot wait. No one can afford to wait. It's when they are in trouble, and so I'm happy that you here again and practicing with us. And usually it takes a while before people come back and frequent the temple regularly, because they are being taken care of. But feel assured that even though we are not doing ceremonies, but we are still helping in many, many ways. First of all, I'd like to ask the old abbot there in Go Forest, how he's feeling. He's been through a summer chi now.
Cảm ơn thầy, con thấy khỏe hơn.
Are you still taking medication, going to acupuncture, or what are you doing?
Bây giờ con uống thuốc và con ngưng chăm cứu rồi.
Yeah, so he's taking medication. His meds again, right? His medications again.
Yeah, con uống thuốc lại. Yeah.
Both the heart and the kidney medication? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how are you feeling?
Con cảm thấy tốt hơn, mà con nghĩ do cái pháp của thầy, chứ con không có tin thuốc Tây nữa. Chết rồi thôi, chứ con không có sợ nữa.
So you're not taking medications at all?
Con uống nhưng mà con không có tin. Con không có tin cái thuốc của thận của bác sĩ Mỹ cho. Uống vô cung nguội thôi.
He says he's taking medication, heart medication, kidney medication, as prescribed by the doctors, but he doesn't believe it. Okay, what happened during the summer cheese is that I felt it's time to fix him up again to prepare him to go to Korea. There we're doing the visa for him to go to Korea for a while to help the Korean upon their request. And a lot of people are eagerly awaiting for his going to Korea. So I felt I couldn't possibly send a sick monk to Korea and add more burdens to their healthcare system. So I fixed him up. When I was fixing him up, I didn't have much time because I'm very busy. While I was fixing up, he was introduced to an acupuncturist who told him you have to choose between Western medication and acupuncture. And he even advised the old abbot to even stop medication, which is he's been taking as prescribed by the Western doctors for 13 years now. And so I was alarmed. I said, "You don't do that." Yeah. So I asked him. I suggested that he should stop seeing that acupuncturist because I know, I believe acupuncture cannot help fix his heart issues. No one can help fix his heart issues because it's been too long. The longer you wait, the harder it is to fix. Very much like if you let dirty things pile up layer after layer after layer over the years. It takes a long, long time to clean it out. Okay? And you don't want to abruptly stop medication right away. And then furthermore, I explained to them as well that I've been biting my tongue because I didn't want to offend anyone. But what people don't realize is illnesses, whether it's physical or mental, it's by layers. A heart is a muscle. that made up of layers upon layers of muscles. Okay? And therefore, usually medication and acupuncture only can affect the outer layers, cannot affect the inner layers. Okay? They have to attack from the outside in. They have to, it's very much like when you clean. When you clean a dirty thing, you have to clean from the outside, one layer, and after next layer, and next layer, next layer, and so forth, until you get to you can clean everything. How can acupuncture or any kind of medicine possibly do it that quickly, to go from outer layer all the way and clean it all the way? That's not possible. And so for them to stop, to advocate stopping medication right away, it's crazy. You're playing with people's lives here. Can't do that. Yeah. You have no respect for the Western medicine. They're useful. They're effective. You cannot just ignore them like that, because he saved his life for 13 years already. And so that's why I said, please don't go see the doctor anymore. And plus, I know a little bit about Eastern medicine doctors, so I'm cautious about them. So I advised him not to go, and he listened. I said, and then I explained to them in Go Force. I went there to have lunch with them so that I can explain to them that medication, okay, acupuncture, whatever the medical people do, has to attack from outside in. Only in Buddhism, in Mahayana, in our dharmas, can we have the means to cleanse you, to help you from inside out. What's the analogy in the Dharma? Let me give you an analogy. This is given in the Shrangama Sutra, our sutras. Okay? It says that if you put a cup of water and a muddy water, and over time the mud settles to the bottom, okay? And on top is clean water. How are you going to clean the mud at the bottom without disrupting the layer of water on top? And the Buddha said, the Shrangama Sutra, the Shrangama mantra can do that. It can cleanse you from inside without disrupting the outer layer, the top layer. That's Buddhism. That's an example of fixing a problem from inside out. Very much like for mental illnesses, doctors, Western doctors, Eastern doctors, they can't do anything, and they know that already, okay? But Western doctors, what do? They give people drugs, meaning they affect only the brains, okay? They cannot affect the real cause of what caused the illness. They only temper, reduce the fluctuations of the mind going crazy. Okay, they only say, "Hey, don't go crazy," but this range is okay. So all they're doing is they're masking the symptoms. They're not fixing the problems at all. It's because they don't know what they're dealing with. Same thing. The acupuncturist. I'm sorry, I don't mean to criticize them. But the acupuncturists, very similarly, they can use acupuncture to only affect the qi outside. They cannot affect the qi inside. That's why I knew that I said, for anyone to advocate, dropping medication immediately cold turkey, it's crazy. You can't take him seriously. Okay, that's why I said, don't go there. He's trying to impress you. Not a good thing to do, to risk people's lives like this. Okay, and so I finally said, I admit to you that I've been fixing you up from the inside out. That's why when I did it very hard, you felt very sick and so forth, and it's from my doing it very strongly in one day, instead of spreading it out evenly. I don't have a whole lot of time, so you see, so I was doing that, expecting him to continue to take medication. But then I was upset when someone walked in there and said, hey, stop taking medication. That messes up all my plans. So I'm glad that the old abbot listened to me and took the medication again. It's okay to take medication. Let them worry about the outside layer first. I can't fix all of them at the same time. I can only take care of the inside. That's more important. Okay? So anyway, and I only fixed his heart. I didn't have time to go into his kidneys yet. So be patient, Master O Abbot, and don't believe all these Eastern doctors. None of them can fix your heart problems. It's too long now. They don't have the tools and the skills to fix them up. Only right now in Buddhism can you have a hope to get some help. Okay? So relax. It's okay. All the help you can get from them is superficial, skin deep. That's it. All right? Continue to do what you've been. I told you to do. Recite those mantras. You can help yourself much more than they can by reciting the mantras yourself. Okay?
Dạ, cảm ơn thầy, con cũng đang làm như thế.
Okay.
Thầy nói con không có biết thầy đang chữa, cho nên con nghe lời ổng. 13 năm nay rồi, thuốc tây nó chỉ giải quyết vậy thôi.
Yeah.
Thì con mới nguyện với Đức Phật A Di Đà là con mệt mỏi lắm rồi. Bây giờ con lỡ hứa với Hàn Quốc là một năm thì con đi 1 năm về là con rút lui về Việt Nam rồi con chờ chết. Hết, that's it. Con không có care cái gì nữa hết á.
I see.
Tại vì con có sẵn chỗ bên đó rồi ở rồi tự mình sống được rồi. Thì con nói với Đức Phật Di Đà là Phật ơi, con mệt mỏi lắm rồi. Rồi cũng cảm ơn thầy đã chỉ cho con thì thấy nó bớt. Ban đầu con tưởng ổng chăm bớt cho nên con mới ngưng thuốc theo lời của ổng, nhưng mà không ngờ thầy đang chữa. Đó là cái mistake của con.
Emitofuo, Master, I did not know that you have been fixing my problem, so I've been listening to him, and for the whole 13 years, I have been taking the Western medicine to try to resolve my problem. However, I have made a promise with Amitabha Buddha. I told him that I'm very tired, so please give me another year so that I can help Korean in Korea, and then after a year, I will go back to Vietnam and have my retirement there. So at first, in the beginning time, I thought that this Eastern medicine doctor helped fixing my problem. I did not know that Master has been helping me fixing that, and that was my mistake, and I was under that impression that the Eastern doctor has been helping me, so I apologize for that.
Okay, one thing at a time. You still, you folks don't realize that he's very sick and he's going through a lot, and so it's very compassionate of the old abbot to continue to struggle along. Actually, for most people, they would have asked to retire and not have to endure suffering anymore. Okay, so I'm very impressed by his compassionate heart, that he's enduring the suffering to help others. This is the spirit of Mahayana. You want to help others, you have to suffer. You think helping others for free? It doesn't work like that. You want to help others, you have to suffer, period. And so it's remarkable that his old age, his sick body, he still wants to help. So that's why I want to keep him around as an example for all of us. Don't think that he's a burden at all. Let me remind you. Can you show the slides? When I came up here to Northern California, I realized that there's a drought going on. And so I said, we should help with the drought. So I wanted to help with the drought, okay? And so when DTT happened, so we helped with the drought a little bit with Gold Force, okay? So that it wasn't getting worse that quickly anymore. And then I said, the conditions are not ripe yet to help the state of California, because my attitude is that when I help, it's only for you. To not continue, the problem I have with Master YongHua's helping others unconditionally is that he helped a lot of people and they came back and they continue doing the same, creating the same kind of karmas. So you're not helping them at all. You're not helping the world at all. If they create bad karma, they come to Master YongHua, he fixes them up, and then they go back and they create the same karmas again. What's the point in helping? You're not helping at all. So my attitude has always been that I will help if you deserve it, if you earn your way. Okay? So I said, for us to help more with the drought, someone else has to suffer, because otherwise it would be helping in vain. So you see, the drought. So I said, but then as with Dharma Treasury temple occurred, and we're trying to fix it up, and I said, wow, this is the timing is right now, that when we're ready, then we can do something to help with the drought statewide, okay? And lo and behold, this year, okay, in January, it's getting more severe, extreme drought. And it must all, and the old abbot, he came back from his trip to Vietnam. He brought back this dragon pearl here, because someone told him maybe the abbot is here. Maybe he will tell us the conditions of how he got this pearl here. Master Abbot, old Abbot, do you remember how you got the pearl and what you were told?
Trong cái lúc con theo lệnh thầy là con về con thỉnh cái xá lợi cho chùa Pháp Tạng đó, thì cũng có sa lợi rơi đó rất nhiều. Thì có nhiều người biết, họ nói cái đó là chư thiên các cõi khác người ta cúng cho A Di Đà Phật.
Okay, stop. Let him
Thì,
translate.
rồi thì cái
Let him translate first. Stop.
Emitofuo, Master. So during my trip, according to your edict, I'm going to Vietnam to in the quest for relics for the Dharma Treasury Temple. So there's a lot of relics was offered from the God of many realms. It is to make offering to Amitabha Buddha.
Thì trong cái quá trình mà nhận cái đó thì có một cái cô Phật tử cũng thân với cô Trúc, thì cổ mới nhận cái ngôi ngọc rồng đó, là cổ nói đây là pháp khí, thì cúng dường cho thầy để đem về bển để đi đôi với cái số sa lợi của Phật chùa Pháp Tạng. Thì con quân về thì con thấy nó hơi khác, là cái năm đó nó mưa rất nhiều, và mỗi sáng thì sương mù rất là nhiều xung quanh cái nhà xanh mà mình chứa cái viên ngọc rồng đó. Giờ người ta nói là cái viên ngọc này nó sẽ đem mưa đến cho cái chỗ nào mà mình an vị cái viên ngọc đó đó. Hồi mới đem về thì rất xanh lợt thôi, giống như là crystal thôi, chỉ hơi xanh thôi. Mà mình đem về khoảng hơn 1 năm nay, bây giờ xanh đậm như vậy. Cách đây khoảng 1 tuần này con đã giao hẳn cho thầy Hiền Chỉ giữ cái đó.
So during that process, there is a lay disciple. That lady is also very close to Cô Trúc. So she received this Dharma instruments, the dragon pearl. She would like to make offering to get together with the relics of Dharma Treasury Temple. So when I brought that back, it's kind of different because that year there's a lot of rain around the greenhouse, wherever the dragon pearl present. So then later on, I've heard that people said these relics, this dragon pearl brought rain whenever to the vicinity around the dragon pearl, whenever you unweigh, the pearl was present. So when we first received this pearl, is only light blue color. Gradually, it turned into very dark blue color in this presence. So then within a week from now, I just transfer that completely to Master Z so that he can keep track of it. He can keep it.
Okay, so this is an example of, you see, of us working, us getting a lot of help. Okay, meaning that when you do good, a lot of people are watching. We are all doing good together. We're creating goodness together, including the old abbot, who is very sick, who's weak, and yet he doesn't give up. He doesn't ask. He had never asked me to, can I retire? Can I find a corner here where I can get some rest and I can die in peace? He said, what do you need me to do? Okay, and it turns out that don't think that he's useless. He's the condition for this dragon pearl here to come to California so that we can have rain. Okay, in order to have rain, there are many ways to do it, but this is an offering from the heavens. And they said, when you're doing good, you're embarking on doing good, you're committing on doing good, like you're making sacrifices, like this old monk here, okay? And he's the conditions. He says, I'm going to sacrifice my body and sacrifice my life to help. And those are what I meant by someone has to suffer. It's not free. Someone has to suffer in order for you to relieve your suffering. They have to take on your suffering. They have to shoulder their suffering, shoulder your burden. Okay? And so that's why I'm bringing this up to remind the old abbot that his effort, his suffering is not in vain, and that it only helps his cultivation, it makes his compassion grow bigger and bigger. Okay? And so don't think of yourself as useless, that you're a burden. With how you bringing the relics here in the U.S., you see, you only brought one relic called the dragon pearl, which only helps with the rain. Okay? One relic here helps with the rain. And you see, you notice precipitously this year when I said, okay, it's time for the drought to end. Okay? As soon as he told me, I didn't know about the pearl. He brought it back. It was light blue, as he said. I said, now is the time. Dharma Treasury Temple is getting ready. So now is the time for us to bring the auspiciousness of this opening of Pureland Temple to the state of California. Okay? Now is the time to begin to help them with the drought. And guess what? It rained precipitously. And I think it's about the same time that the color changed from light blue to dark blue. So this is how extreme the case is. Look at this. Extreme drought to where it is today. Huh? Another photo, Lake Oroville. I think it's the second or third largest water reservoir in California in December, end of last year, where it is right now. I mean, in March. So, old abbot, okay, don't think that you're wasting time. You don't feel you're a burden to us at all. Without you are the means. I noticed that. I noticed you are the means for them to convey the relics to our temples. Whether it's here in Northern California or Southern California or in Korea as well. Okay? And we thank you for that. Thank you for your suffering. Thank you for your personal sacrifices.
Thầy là cũng có cái này cũng hơi, con thấy cũng hơi vui là bữa nay là 21, bữa rằm tháng này là rất là cách đây mấy ngày. Thì khuya con qua đây đặng thiền, thì con qua khoảng 2 giờ 40, 45. Đi ngang dưới cái cây của nhà của Duy đó. Không biết chim ở đâu mà nó kêu cả 100 con, mà nó kêu rất là nhiều loại khác nhau và cái tiếng kêu rất là vui. Cả cô Liên cũng nghe nữa. Thì ngày hôm sau đó con ngồi lúc 10 giờ rưỡi thì con thấy được cái sắc tức thì không. Thấy cái chỗ tổ Huệ Năng nói mà cái khoảng trống không mà có những tia chớp đó, thì lúc đó con niệm A Di Đà Phật thì những cái tia A Di Đà Phật nó cứ đi như vậy. Thì con mới lại Phật Di Đà, con lấy cái dịch lý. Thì quả dịch trả lời là những cái lộn xộn, những cái chấp trước đen trắng vàng đỏ đó, dừng lại rồi, bỉ tụng. Thì sáng hôm sau con về phòng con đó, nó kêu nữa. Bữa đó khoảng 2 giờ rưỡi sáng. Thì hết thiền thất 6 giờ 40 về thì tụi nó kêu nữa, nhưng mà nó kêu ít hơn. Mà cái đêm rất là vui. Không biết ở đâu mà về rất là nhiều, mà thường 2 giờ rưỡi khuya làm gì có chim kêu. Thì con nghĩ là do cái đèn pin con rọi con đi đó. Thì ngày hôm sau con thử, con rọi ngược lên cây, đâu có con nào ở đó đâu. Không có con nào kêu nữa hết. Cách này mấy bữa là bữa nay 21, thì bữa rằm cách đây khoảng chưa được 1 tuần.
Yeah, many auspicious things. But You notice on the map here, we still are not completely out of it. We still have severe drought in some areas of the state, but our areas, Southern California, Northern California here, are manageable. Okay, this is because we still need to do more. We need to have more changes, especially in our leaders, our political leaders. They need to do a better job taking care of the people. If we were completely normal, then they don't need to change. I'm here to remind. I know that for us, small people, we can't affect much, but the politicians need to do a better job. Okay? This falls on their realms. Okay, it's just me, my big mouth. Okay? There's still a lot of work for our leaders to finish this. Okay? If they don't, there'll be more drought coming again. There's only one dragon pearl. I don't know what else is going to happen next time. Okay? So anyway, the old abbot, finally, you see, you can tell that he's been going through a lot. That's why he says, I will suffer for 1 more year and I would like to stop. My body has limits. My suffering has limits. Okay? Well, we give you another year and let's see what happens after next year. Okay? Enjoy. Enjoy it. Okay? I know you're saying that right now because it's a lot of suffering more than people realize. There's a lot of pain and suffering that you underwent the past summer chi or so. So we give you time to recover, and the Koreans will take good care of you. Okay, I'll continue to fix your kidneys before you go. Okay, your heart should be okay for a year, but your kidneys, I have to work on your kidneys, to be honest with you. Okay, I couldn't find the time to do it. Okay, but you go there, and the Koreans will take very good care of you, and they will talk you out of retirement, I hope. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for your compassion, Master O Abbot. Anyone want to say something?
Cuối cùng thì con xin trước nhất là con cảm ơn Thầy đã giúp đỡ con từ xuất gia cho đến bây giờ. Và nhất là cái kỳ bệnh này thì Thầy giúp cho con để mà con khỏe hơn, thì con không biết gì hơn là xin cảm ơn Thầy và ráng tu thôi. Dạ xin hết.
Yeah. I've been keeping you alive to have you as an example of what we people do as monks. When you've been going through a lot the last 10 years or so, and I am very grateful for your suffering. You endured many untold suffering. It's no fun, I know that. But that's, if you think what you're going through is impossible, think about what Master YongHua had to go through to help all of us. Okay, what you're experiencing is only a fraction of what he had to go through. A tiny fraction, let me assure you. Okay? All right. Any questions or comments? Okay. Thank you. We stop here and take a short break or do the lunch offering. My, are we becoming affectionate here, huh? Ish. It's funny, the old abbot forgot the pearl is for us. He said, it's my personal collection. And then after I explained to him the drought here, he said, actually it was sent for us for this temple.